Start.
Start.
The demon Muskie from hell. On the calm summer's evening of a hot, sultry day, I stood on the shore and I watched a boy play. He threw out a stick for his dog in the water. The dog went to fetch, and that's when he bought her. The foam and spray flew, the water it churned. The dog disappeared and never returned. I stood there in shock while the boy cried so hard. He'd lost his best friend, his old St. Bernard. That's how it started. This tale I must tell of the demon Muskie from hell. In a tavern that night I described the event. They listened at first, and away they all went to laugh and to snicker at one such as I, who'd believe they'd believe such an obvious lie. They said I was crazy, deluded I think. Once friendly bartenders quit serving me drinks, so I took myself home and mentioned no more of that little boy's dog not reaching the shore. But yet I was certain it made my blood gel. Our lake now belonged to the demon Muskie from hell. Within weeks, frogs and ducks disappeared from the lake. When anglers went out, not a catch could they make. Our beautiful lake, so clear and spring-fed, turned mysteriously murky with waves tinted red. A DNR shocking crew went out one night, and the results of their survey caused a terrible fright. The whole town was shocked when the DNR said that our lake was now totally, hopelessly dead. Yet only two people, that young boy and I, knew for a fact what had caused it to die. For he knew as I did that in our lake dwelled a horrible monster, the demon Muskie from hell. And then rumors started and gossip galore. A man lost a bull that was grazing on shore. They said a young couple alone on the beach heard a commotion and a terrible screech. What they claimed to have seen, no one believed, of course. I mean, who'd think a muskie could eat a whole horse? But I knew they weren't lying, as did my young friend. Together we planned to capture and end the life of that creature and his terrible spell. Together we'd kill the demon Muskie from hell. So we readied our tackle and sharpened our hooks. When folks saw us fishing, they gave us such looks. Some said we were stupid. Some said we were dumb. They all laughed at our folly when they saw our boat come. But we kept on fishing, for we knew what was there. As for what the town thought, well, we just didn't care. And then finally it happened one wet, windy day. We sighted the demon some distance away. We just hadn't figured. We'd failed to foretell that we'd be the prey of the demon Muskie from hell. He was charging our boat, his jaws open wide. Too late to run, we had no place to hide. His teeth were like butcher knives, eyes bloody red. A great gray-green tail propelled him ahead. And he rammed us head on, and he bit out a chunk of our little boat's bottom. I knew we were sunk. Then he circled the boat. We watched him with dread. I had to do something or else we'd be dead. So I grabbed up an oar, and when he swam by, I swung at his head and it stuck in his eye. I jammed it in hard with a turn and a twist. The muskie lunged for me. I was lucky. He missed. And then his tail struck the boat, and over we fell into the lake with the demon Muskie from hell. My friend was a swimmer, but not so was I. As I started to sink, I felt something brush by. In a panic, I reached out and tried to grab hold. It was thick as a tree trunk and slimy and cold, but I wrapped my arms around it and squeezed with all of my might. I didn't let go until shore was in sight. Then we fought through the shallows and up to the shore, and although I made it, I was bloody and sore. And the last thing I knew was how good dry land feels when an aquatic demon is hard on your heels. And then I passed out. Forward I fell. Amazed I'd escaped from the demon Muskie from hell. When I finally came to, my mind was a blank. I went straight to the tavern, sat there and drank. But now, 20 years later, I'm quitting the booze. Our lake is now famous. Our town's in the news. The demon is dead. The curse has been lifted. He hangs on the wall of a fisherman gifted with drive and courage and the skill that it took to subdue such a monster with rod and with hook. He'd spent his whole life out there fishing alone, trolling and casting and tired to the bone. When asked by reporters what drove him so hard, said, "That devil ate my St. Bernard." And so ends my story, this tale I must tell of the demon Muskie from hell.
Yeah.